North Slide Road, and Loop 289, combining film, food, and drink all in one seat. Reserved seating, movie schedules, and upcoming events are available at their box office or online at drafthouse.com/Lubbock.
Hi, this is Jeremy from Giant Toy Guns, and you're listening to the Raider 88.1.
Hello and good morning, Texas Tech. It is Friday, February 24th, 2017, and it's that time of the week again. Yes, it is. It is time for some Friday GMTT. We got plenty of shenanigans planned for today. I am Brian Jimenez, and of course, I am joined by my wonderful crew, like on sports. Person one, we got Andrew Marks.
What's up? Good morning.
We got Brandon Medina, also on sports.
What's up, everybody?
Also, for music and entertainment news, we have Mr. Andy Koke.
What's up? One love.
And news and weather, we got Haylee Uptergrove.
Hey ho, hello.
Hey ho, hello to you too. Also, running board is Jamie Drury. Thank you, Jamie, once again for joining us today. We got Derek Ginter, Josh, and Joel in the house as well. Got a jam-packed studio, and it's going to be a fun episode. How's everyone feeling today, first of all? Feeling good? Feeling ready?
Sniffly.
I didn't know it was going to be this cold, so I'm a little...
It's going to get colder tomorrow.
Man.
Can Lubbock make up its mind? I was a little unprepared.
I wish, man. I wish it could make up its mind. But you know what? I got my friends. I got my coffee. I got my daylight donuts. I'm ready to go. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Haylee, what is up?
Plenty
on the
of
news?
things are up in the news. Lubbock, Texas, with your KTXT news update. That was a great lead. Wow. Alrighty. 17-year-old Mac Beggs will be competing on behalf of Euless Trinity High School at the state wrestling tournament in Austin this weekend, but it's unclear if his opponents will agree to face him on the mat. Beggs is in the process of transitioning from female to male, but is forced by UIL regulations to compete as a girl. Two of Beggs' three opponents forfeited last weekend, giving the transgender student the regional championship. Beggs has openly identified as a boy and says he doesn't want to compete as a girl, but that would be against a controversial UIL regulation that states all student athletes must compete as the gender on their birth certificate. Beggs is a 52-0 in his high school wrestling tournaments to date. The attorneys for an illegal immigrant being held at a detention center in North Texas says his client is in desperate need of medical attention. Chris Hamilton tells KXAS-TV that Sarah Hernandez was forcibly removed from a hospital in Burleson, where she was diagnosed with a brain tumor that requires surgery. Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirmed yesterday that Hernandez has no criminal record, but is targeted for deportation. Hamilton says Hernandez came to the United States after suffering domestic abuse in her native El Salvador, and that she immediately surrendered to immigration authorities and sought asylum. Houston's Simone Biles will be on Dancing with the Stars next month. Entertainment Tonight is reporting the four-time Olympic gold medalist will participate in the show's 24th season. Biles' teammate in Rio, Lori Hernandez, might have a few tips for her. Hernandez was the winner of the show's 23rd season. And finally, a 12-foot-tall purple gorilla is on the loose in Corpus Christi, but before you become too concerned, it should be said that this simian is of the inflatable variety. Surveillance footage shows several thieves stealing the massive display from a local car dealership earlier this week. The gorilla was last seen wearing white sunglasses, red shorts, and a big smile while hoisting a car over his head. That just about wraps us up for your KTXT News Update. I'll be back at the half hour with more news for you, but first, here is DG with the weather.
Thanks, Haylee. The National Weather Service forecast for Lubbock and vicinity. Sunny today with some patchy blowing dust this afternoon. Probably not nearly as bad as we saw yesterday. Highs in the lower 60s with northerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, shifting to the west and increasing slightly this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight. Lows in the lower 20s and sunny tomorrow. Highs Saturday in the mid-50s. Looks like warmer conditions and partly sunny skies expected Sunday, and more wind expected later next week. Currently in Lubbock, clear skies, 32 degrees. Wind is from the north at 9 miles per hour. That's creating a wind chill of 24 degrees. Need a jacket as you head out this morning, but all in all, probably won't be too bad later today. Now back to Goodfellas Friday here on the Raider 88.1.
You know, just when we thought spring was finally upon us, we get
It's
days
never
like
true.
today.
No, never. Remember last year, April Fool's, when it snowed?
Yeah.
Craziness.
And we all thought it was a literal joke, and it actually happened. April Fools, everybody. And Andrew Marks said, you know, hey, wish Lubbock would make up its mind. Yeah, I really wish it would. But
it was 80 degrees like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I don't understand. It was like up to 88 on Wednesday.
I loved it.
I loved it. It was nice. It felt good. It wasn't too hot. Wasn't unbearably cold. I mean, not that it's unbearably cold, but it's a little much for me.
I had all the windows down. It was amazing when I was in my car.
Yeah, I wish we had more days like that, but just gotta wait it out, I suppose. So let's talk about this purple gorilla on the loose, Haley.
Yeah, let's do the first.
That's the most important story that was read here.
Clearly, that is the most important news story of the day that we need to spend extensive time on. So, from what I understood from your story, it was from a car dealership decoration. Did I hear that right?
You did,
Okay.
yes. Actually, it's from the Corpus Christi Zoo. We have giant inflatable creatures living there.
And there was sunglasses on that purple gorilla. Correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
See, at least he's got a
and
sense
shorts.
of style.
They haven't stripped him of all of his dignity.
Was it cargo shorts?
I do not know.
I think they were white shorts.
No,
Just
they were
white.
red.
Oh, they were
The
red.
red shorts.
Red shorts. I assume
a
there were
purple
more than
gorilla.
likely Hawaiian flowers on them.
More than likely. Can you confirm that?
It can't be confirmed. I need to work on my journalistic skills.
How high do you think the gorilla was in the
I
air?
thought you were going to say how high do you have to be to steal a purple gorilla.
No.
I mean, that
The gorilla is
too,
12
but-
feet tall.
12 feet tall. He should play basketball.
That would be a very interesting
Well, maybe
game.
if he was alive, he could probably do that.
Yeah. Shaq versus the giant purple gorilla.
I don't know,
I'd like to see
man.
that.
I put my money on the purple gorilla, but this is no time to talk about sports as much as I would love to do
Let's
so.
not.
Let's not. And then also, we had, what was your first story again, Haley?
My first story was about a teenager, a 17-year-old that is transitioning from male to female. No, from female to male.
Mm-hmm.
And
And what event were they competing in? I know it was track and
Wrestling,
field.
state wrestling,
excuse
yeah.
me. You know, I know it's not much of a topic these days yet, but I think in a couple of years, you know, now that more people are coming out as transgendered or identified, I think this is a topic that's going to have like a lot of widespread controversy going from sports to sport. Because I know especially sports like wrestling,
Yeah.
MMA, you're starting to see this more often. I think it's just going to be interesting the way this plays out. What are y'all's thoughts about it?
I think, honestly, I think it's been a long time coming. I guess, like someone had to expect it. There has been multiple cases of women playing like football and stuff like that. I think when it comes to, I guess, sports like that are like considered, I guess, like male dominated. I think it's definitely going to be come to get expected because a lot of people want that equality. I don't think it's going to like hurt the sport too much, honestly. But I guess it depends on. I mean, if you're athletic and you have talent, regardless of your gender.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like everyone should get the opportunity to suck. Because I know I've tried a lot of things that I sucked at, and you know.
Can we trademark that and put it on a T-shirt?
Sports.
Everyone
Sports.
should have the equal opportunity to suck.
At sports.
This is America, where we all have the opportunity to fall on our face, but at least we tried.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with them, though. Just let people compete and live their lives. I'm not in the business of telling people they can and can't do something. I try to stay out of it, but I'm with them. Everybody should have the opportunity to suck, as Andy said.
Yeah, there's a guy out there on a wheelchair doing backflips and front flips on a giant mega round.
That's epic.
He's out there right now doing that?
Doing that right now.
Oh, wow.
Nitro Circus. His name's Wheels.
Oh, I thought you meant like outside the
Anything
building.
is possible, my man.
Anything
Yeah.
is possible
Very
if you
true.
put your mind to it.
I think, I don't know. I agree. I think people should be able to, you know, if they're interested in a sport, be able to compete in that sport. But I also think you have to take into consideration, I don't know, in my opinion, I think you have to take into consideration the fact of just like, I don't know, the way that biology works. You know, if you have a male versus a female in a wrestling tournament, you know, 9 times out of 10, the guy's going to win just given, like, just the way they're built. You know what I mean? Like the genetics of that and the science behind that is just men and women are built differently. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see, like, moving forward, how they level the playing field, I guess, if that makes sense.
I don't really think. I think in that case, I don't really think it's about winning or losing. I think it's just about having like the right to and having like the principle of like,
Right.
hey, I can compete as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I agree with you.
But
on
I
that.
definitely agree. I know what you're saying though, and it does make sense. And like that also could like go into like it could hurt competition since people might have like a certain like I guess
Advantage.
stigma and like
Yeah.
advantage of like,
Yeah.
hey, like they're gonna win. But then again, it leaves room for like surprises and stuff to open up.
Well, and in this case, the student's competing because of a UIL regulation that says, you know, an athlete has to compete according to their gender that's on their birth certificate. So even though Beggs has been transitioning for a while, like he identifies as a man, he I mean, if you could see a picture, like everything about this kid screams boy. However, on his birth certificate it says girl, and so he has to compete as a female. And because of that, he's won, you know, the last however many matches. He's in the UIL state competition, state tournament, not necessarily because he beat all of his opponents, but because they didn't want to wrestle him. You know, so I think it's going to put it's just going to be interesting to see how the sports community like progresses in instances like this to protect the values of competition, you know?
So. And, you know, I think it's going to be a lot more stories like this, just kind of depending on the leagues and levels and how they regulate it, how they see fit. In my opinion, I guess for lack of a better term, I guess it's going to be a process of like trial and error, you know, like what maybe rules and regulations work, how long there should be along the surgery process, things like that. I think you know, there's a lot to take into consideration because it is something. One, it's kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people because, you know, it's becoming, you know, more and more, you know, talked about, obviously, but it's something that we're not all 100%, you know, understanding of it. So I think it's going to take a lot of research. I think it's going to be a lot of you know, pushback from one side or the other. I think it's obviously going to be a little controversial, but I say give it a few more years and we're going to see a lot more stories like this, especially within contact sports. You know, like I said, wrestling, MMA, boxing. Even.
I'm interested to see how it affects like professional sports, like football or like the NBA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
For sure. Very interesting stuff. Well, let's go ahead and go into a quick music break. First up, we have Jens Lankman, What's That Perfume You Wear? Here on Good Morning Texas Tech. We'll be right back. Facebook, keep on watching. Stay tuned.
Switch us to 4 in here. There we go. Good Friday morning, Facebook. Lots of wheeling and dealing going on in the other studio. So, again, just a reminder to our Facebook audience, if you're tuning in on Facebook, we're not allowed to play the music over Facebook because that is legally a violation of copyright, and they call us down on it. So every time we try to play the music, they kill it. So instead
Still
of
not on Facebook.
instead of making that happen, we
Still
just
not on Facebook.
we talk. I don't think she's
No, I'm
even
not.
listening.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Haley. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You've got to switch them to 4 as well.
DG?
Did you get it?
I did.
Okay, she got it now.
Yay!
Awesome.
Am I over
Okay.
here yelling in the background?
Yes, you're just screaming in the background like a mad woman. That's why we love you so much, Haley.
That's accurate.
Anyway, so we're filling the time during the music segments on Facebook, chatting about different things, this, that, and the other. You're able to see some of the goings-on while we're in the music breaks. So, Haley, you got big plans for this weekend?
Yeah. Kinda.
Really? You going to a movie?
No. Am I going to a movie?
You going to a Broadway
Is that my
musical?
only? No, I'm going to go see my boyfriend who lives far away and then come back and watch the Oscars with my friend. And it's
Okay.
going to be fun.
Well, we've got less than 30 seconds, so we'll let Jamie switch us back and stay tuned for the next segment here on Good Morning Texas Tech. Good morning, Texas Tech.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Good Morning Texas Tech. It's about that time for your sports updates. Let's get right into it. Starting with some NBA action in the East, we still have Cleveland at number 1 with a 40-16 record, followed by Boston, Washington, Toronto, Atlanta, Indiana, Chicago, and Detroit. In the West, we got Golden State at number 1 with 48-9, followed by the San Antonio Spurs, the Houston Rockets, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Utah Jazz, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the recent Denver Nuggets. In other NBA news, the NBA trade deadline has passed.
We'll talk some NBA first. Brandon talked about the trade deadline that just passed. A lot of moves happened, but some didn't that we thought were going to. Big names like Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, who were rumored to be on the move, possibly to the Boston Celtics, the Clippers, a bunch of other teams, didn't happen. And honestly, the biggest move happened before the deadline. He talked about Boogie Cousins going to the Pelicans, but on deadline day, honestly, the biggest two moves was Oklahoma City got Taj Gibson and Doug McDermott, 2 role players, and then the Dallas Mavericks got Nerlens Noel. That's really all that happened at the deadline yesterday, but there was one huge move. It was DeMarcus Cousins going to the Pelicans. Brandon, let's talk about it. What'd you think of the move?
I don't know, man. It was just, we talked about it. Vlade Divac as the manager for the Pelicans. Just, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what happened. But trading DeMarcus Cousins and Omri Caspi for Buddy Hield, obviously great Oklahoma player. But like you said, we talked about as just a role player right now in the NBA.
I don't see him being more than just a spot-up three-point shooter.
Absolutely
kind of in that Anthony Morrow, Kyle Korver type role.
That's right. And then you have Tyreek Evans, who was a former Rookie of the Year, but then just seemingly
with Sacramento, so he's back there.
And then just couldn't get it going again, I guess, after he was traded. Lanston Galloway, who I think was waived since 2017 first-round pick and a second-round pick. Just doesn't seem like you could have got so much for
the best big man in basketball. They got nothing for him.
Absolutely not. And, I mean, we talked about this last time. His first game with the Pelicans, I believe he scored, 29 points or something like 29 points. He almost had five rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks, but he was one short of a block.
Yeah. Anthony Davis also scored 29
and 9.
Yeah, they combine. I show Andrew, me and him were going crazy last night, and it was just, it looks like a bright future for this squad.
For sure.
Yeah, and I guess we can just dive right into the rest of the trades. I mean, as for those 2 trades I mentioned yesterday, I guess we probably have some Mavs fans, so we talk about this. What do you think Nerlens Noel brings to the Mavs? I know Koke and I are Mavs fans. We're excited about it. They end up giving up Andrew Bogut, who has been a disappointment in Dallas so far. Justin Anderson, a promising young guard, but hasn't really gotten his career off and running yet. Rick Carlisle kind of has a problem playing rookies, as we know.
Right.
And then they gave up a conditional first-round pick that is top 18 protected. Well, the Mavericks aren't going to be one of the 12 best teams in basketball this year, so the Mavericks are going to end up keeping that pick, and that turns into 2 second-round picks for the 76ers. So, in my opinion, the Mavericks basically just stole Nerlens Noel from the 76ers. I'm super happy about this.
Yeah. Me too. It's going to bring a youth and athleticism that we really needed.
Yes.
And I really do appreciate that. We made this move. It was really good for us.
I'm glad the Mavericks finally took a long, hard look in the mirror and said, we need to play young guys. We need to get younger. They also waived Darren Williams, who's rumored to be going to Cleveland to back up Kyrie Irving.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, so
crazy.
Front office finally got their stuff
we are
together.
going to play young guys, and we're going to try to be more athletic and be younger and build for the future. I'm loving that. Let's change gears, though. Let's talk about Pat Mahomes on Gruden camp.
I'm excited, man. That's huge publicity for Pat Mahomes. For those who don't know him, if you don't know him, obviously you haven't been keeping up with college football. But it's looking good for him, man. I'm excited to see what he can do, and I'm excited to see, hopefully, he goes pretty high and goes to a good team.
I think that program is must-watch television, by the way. I love that every year, the Gruden camp.
Okay, real quick, guys, before we head off to the next music break, is Pat Mahomes a first rounder? And if so, how close to the top does he fall?
I think he is a first rounder because the combine's coming up and he's going to show what he's all about. And I think he ends up being a first round pick. I'm going to say the Texans at 25.
Ooh. Texans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
He'll stay in Houston.
Keep him in Texas.
Fingers crossed.
I'm also going to say the same. I hope he goes to the Texans, but I also would be okay if by a trade or just by falling and slipping, I would love to see him in Pittsburgh as well.
All right, well, there you go. We'll just have to see where Pat Mahomes falls. Let's go ahead and go into another quick music break. Next up, we got Thundercat Show You the Way. Don't go anywhere, people. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a few. Good morning, Texas Tech. Facebook, hello. Thank you for sticking with us. Thanks for joining in on the discussion. If you haven't, let us know your thoughts. Where do you think Pat Mahomes is going to go? What do you feel about the NBA trades? Who you like, who you don't like? All that good stuff. We got music news up next with Andy Koke. Sneak preview for the people. What do we got?
We got new Calvin Harris, Frank Ocean, Migos collab song.
Okay.
Which is fire.
It is fire. It's fuego.
It's fuego.
A date was released for the anticipated show The Get Down on Netflix.
Okay.
SNL announced 2 amazing artists for the 2 upcoming Saturdays, and then also we will be remembering Kurt Cobain on his birthday.
Good stuff, good stuff. As far as Facebook comments, so far I'm seeing Veronica Mark saying good morning. Good morning, Miss Veronica. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Right.
Really appreciate your support. Very good stuff. Also, sneak preview for the people. What?
I had a question for you, Brian.
Yeah, what's the question?
So obviously we just got done talking about sports.
We did.
You were at the basketball game. What do you think this team needs to win out the rest of the year?
Ooh, I don't know, man. It seems you are talking about Tech, of course, just so we're on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. I think I don't know. We have to make smarter decisions. We need to choose when we're going to be aggressive, when we're not. It seems like we're too hesitant at times, and it ends up costing us in clutch situations where we really need to be aggressive and drive it in. That was one of the big points that Chris Beard made in the press conference afterwards, saying we really need to just drive it in, attack, and we choked on that.
Also, he threw some shade at the officials in overtime in that loss against Iowa State. Iowa State shot 10 free throws, Texas Tech shot none, and that really was the difference in the game.
It really was, and hopefully we can win it out. I don't know if we are
NIT.
Probably NIT more than likely. Which I mean, hey,
that's fine.
It's all right. We got baseball to rely on.
It's fine.
We're baseball school now.
We're baseball school now, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we got music news on the way with Mr. Andy Koke. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for joining us, people.
Hi, hello, good morning. My name is Andy Koke, and here is your weekly music news update. Sorry, Haylee. Earlier this week, it's rumored that Calvin Harris, Frank Ocean, and Migos are working on a project together. Well, fans can now rejoice as Harris releases the single Slide after teasers of the song appeared on Harris's Snapchat earlier this week. Harris tweeted out full credits, including the instruments that they use, so that's very, very special. Slide is the first project that Frank Ocean has worked on since his highly acclaimed album Blonde dropped last year. In Netflix news, The Get Down is finally back, so fans can finally breathe. The show depicts a group of teenagers in the Bronx during the late 80s making their voices heard through the growing popularity of hip-hop and rap. The second half of the series is set to release on April 7th, so that's coming up pretty quick. Watch out for SNL this weekend. 2 very exciting musical guests have been announced for the following 2 Saturdays of March 4th and 11th. Father John Misty is set to perform this March 4th, this Saturday, to promote his new album, Pure Comedy, while the following Saturday, March 11th, Lorde is set to perform to promote her her album, following up her highly anticipated album, which comes very, very soon. There's a lot of hints and teasers to that. And then also we end with, just this past Monday, we remember 90s grunge icon and Nirvana frontrunner Kurt Cobain for his birthday. His daughter, Frances Bean Cobain, posted a sentimental message on Instagram saying, "Today would have been your 50th birthday. You are loved and you are missed. Thank you for giving me the gift of life. Forever your daughter, Frances Bean Cobain." So he would have been 50 on Monday. So any discussion for that? That's all I have for this week.
Well, very interesting stuff. Of course, rest in peace to the late, great Kurt Cobain, one of the biggest, most influential game changers in the world of rock and roll in modern times. So rest in peace. Left behind quite the legacy. So collaborations are a big deal now. We got Frank Ocean, Migos, and Calvin Harris. What are your thoughts about it?
I think it's amazing. I listened to it last night, and anything that Frank Ocean can bring to the table is a gift. Also with Migos coming right off of their brand new album release with Culture, I just feel like all these guys are really, the highest at their peak right now. I don't want to say where they're peaking, but like they're at the highest.
They're probably in their
right
prime,
now.
all of them right now, for sure. Like
Calvin Harris,
especially
for sure.
Migos.
Yeah.
Like Migos is hitting it. That's called Slide, man. Go check it out.
Oh my gosh,
and I promise you, like you're gonna like not even question it. It's such a, like as soon as it starts, this is gonna be a great.
It
song.
got released last night.
Yeah.
So I immediately listened to it.
And it's available on streaming services?
I have it on Spotify and
Apple Music. You can listen to it anywhere, really. It's definitely a banger.
Yeah, man. And then you got Homeboy Future, notorious rapper, released 2 albums in 1 week. So second album was really good. First one, yeah, absolutely, he definitely is. He's not
That's
the
my man,
best
by the
guy. The first album wasn't all that.
Sounds like it was shrinked in the wash, man.
Yeah, but second album was good. So check it out for sure.
I'm pretty surprised about the Get Down news. I was hearing a lot of stories and rumors a few months back saying that they were going to cancel it, that it was, critically acclaimed, it was a really well-made series, just not a whole lot of people watch it, I guess, but, I guess they
really
defied the odds and they're going to bring it back.
It's like my favorite show on Netflix.
I have yet to watch it. I hear really good things.
It's fantastic. I mean, the costumes, just the music, there's so many artists involved with it. It did cost a lot. I feel like it went over budget. I would say, don't quote me on that, but that was really the deterrent for the comeback to the Get Down. So I'm really happy they came back, because it's just alongside with Stranger Things, also like a throwback style show that depicts in the 80s. Then this one is in the 70s. It's really, really cool to see this. The costumes are fantastic and the acting is so good. Jaden Smith is not the center focal point, but he adds.
Yeah, I heard this is the last one, though. I heard that after this it's done. Like, after part 2, it's over.
Yeah, apparently this is just one half and the second half.
Yeah, apparently they're going to go, because they already pushed 80s the last half.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to go 90s, which is really super exciting, because that's like rap's peak of like popularity.
Cool,
yeah.
man.
I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah. Very interesting stuff. I'll probably watch it when I get back home.
You have to.
Go on a little
Absolutely,
Netflix binge.
We won't be friends.
Educate myself on a little bit about the history of hip-hop, all that good stuff.
Nas also created, so Nas is like a huge part of it, so it's super interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I will definitely watch that sometime. Let's go ahead and go into our news and weather update. Haylee?
Thanks so much, Brian. Good morning, Lubbock, Texas. Here's your KTXT half-hour news update. Both sides are declaring victory after a federal appeals court throws out a lawsuit against the state of Texas concerning the harboring of illegal immigrants. The Mexican-American Legal Defense and Education Fund claimed the establishment of criminal penalties for harboring immigrants would put ordinary landlords and service providers in jail. But MALDEF says the tossing of the lawsuit by the federal court also includes the court better defining what harboring actually means, and that may be enough to keep law enforcement authorities away from landlords who don't ask if their tenants are in the country illegally. The Dallas oil executive who proclaimed himself the frack master is facing a felony charge in California. The Dallas Morning News reports Christopher Faulkner was arrested by Los Angeles Airport Police earlier this week. Faulkner is a self-proclaimed fracking expert who federal prosecutors accuse of running an $80 million scam, including more than $1 million in credit card charges for strip clubs, escorts, nightclubs, and personal travel. The newspaper says the president of Belting Energy Corporation was hailed as one of the industry's prominent experts on fracking, but had little background in the oil and gas field. Police say a man is in critical condition after fatally shooting his wife and sister-in-law at a Pasadena restaurant and then turning the gun on himself. Investigators say the gunman asked operators, customers, and staff to leave the Tierra Caliente restaurant last night before he opened fire on his relations. Police say the two women were dead at the scene, but the man survived his own bullet and was flown by air ambulance to Houston's Memorial Hermann Hospital. And finally, a Houston energy company says it regrets the safety violations that federal prosecutors say led to an explosion in the Gulf of Mexico that killed 3 offshore workers. Wood Group PSN was ordered to pay nearly $10 million for falsely reporting that it made the required safety inspections of its offshore facilities and for discharging oil into the Gulf of Mexico as a result of the deadly explosion and fire in November 2012. An EPA spokesman says developing domestic sources of energy is of vital importance, but the development must be done responsibly and safely to protect public health and the environment. That does it for your KTXT News Update. I'm Haylee. Now here is DG with your weather.
Thanks, Haylee. The National Weather Service forecast for Lubbock and vicinity, sunny and breezy with some blowing dust this afternoon, not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. Highs today in the low 60s, west winds 15 to 25 miles per hour expected. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the lower 20s, and sunny and a bit cooler tomorrow, high Saturday in the mid-50s. Looks like we have a warming trend as we head out of the weekend, and unfortunately more wind expected later next week. Currently in Lubbock, fair skies, 32 degrees. Wind is from the north at 9 miles per hour, creating a wind chill of 24 degrees. Definitely want to bundle up as you head out this morning. Coming up next on Good Morning Texas Tech, here's the Orwells. They put a body in the bayou. On the Raider, 88.1.
You're tuned into the Raider 88.1. Thanks so much, Jamie. You're tuned into the Raider 88.1. Good morning, Texas Tech. This is Good Fella Friday. But I'm here, and I'm not a fella, so that's cool. It's okay. They like having me on the show. I do news for them and provide very intelligent comments about the sports commentary. That's probably my favorite part. I don't know. I think the guys might jump on with me in a minute. It's not really looking like that. They're just chilling, nodding at me, doing nothing. They told me not to eat the extra donuts, but I don't see any of them eating them, so I'm just about to go in there and take out those chocolate donuts. But if you're listening to KTXT right now, that's great. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're tuned in. You should go check out Daylight Donuts. They have great donuts there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spare y'all this endless torment, and we're going to go ahead and get back to the music here on the Raider. We've got some great segments coming up, so y'all keep it locked to the left. Bye, Facebook.
Good morning, Texas Tech. We are now 36 minutes past the hour. So, unless you live under a rock, you may be aware that the Oscars are this weekend. Right? Yes? Facts. Okay. Now, we could just talk about the Oscars and say, talk about the movies that we think are going to win and all that interesting stuff, but where's the fun in that?
I mean,
it's fun, but we could do our own thing. So,
That's right.
I decided to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to have our own awards show here on Good Morning Texas Tech. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to host the first annual Raidees Awards. Yes, the very first Raidees Awards.
The Raidees.
I know it sounds like rabies, but trust us, you will not need a shot after this segment, ladies and gentlemen.
You might.
I wasn't
You might, I don't
thinking
know,
about it.
depending
And
how well it
we
goes.
came up with
What
that
kind of
name.
shot?
We came up with that name after the Dundies from Dunder Mifflin on NBC's The Office.
Yes.
So
The
Haley's the
Raidees.
one
That's what we're going for.
that coined the term, so if you don't like it, take it up with
Of
Haley.
course.
You're the one that chose it, though. I was just mentioning it.
I'm just the show host. The
She's a
Academy
vanity
tells me what
ship.
to do.
I'm
Anywho,
proud of it.
So what we have done is we've taken some of KTXT's biggest and brightest stars and put them in a number of categories that highlight or really kind of demean their qualities. But we're gonna go over a few of those today. So are y'all ready? Y'all
I'm
excited?
ready,
I'm
man.
very excited
I'm
about
ready
this.
for this one.
We're gonna make this a tradition here on the Raider. First category is for best taste in music.
oh boy.
Oh, man.
All right. This
Here we
one
go.
is an interesting category indeed. The nominees are Andy Koke, Derek Ginter, Brandon Medina, and Dr. Cam Stone.
Oh, that's a rough one.
Jamie, could I get a drum roll, please? And the winner for best taste in music goes to Andy Koke.
Oh wow.
Would you like to give a
Andrew said, "Oh wow, what a steal! What a steal!"
what a steal? Andy Koke, would you like to give a 20-second speech?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank the Academy
Yeah.
and my lovely friends and coworkers and
Thank you.
We need some wrap it up music, like in like on the Office.
Oh, sorry, time's up.
Climate
Next
change is
category. All
Climate
right.
change is real.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up we have Best Fashion Sense. Now, we are radio people, so you don't see us most of the time, but some of us do actually dress well for radio people. So,
Yeah.
the next set of nominees are
It's no one here, by the way.
Andy Koke, Derek Ginter, Haley Uptergrove, Elena Porter,
Oh,
Nick Hay,
oh,
Austin Adams, and Ricky Cortez.
this is a rough one.
Front
This
runner.
one's kind of a toss-up.
Ricky's a front runner.
Considering
No.
that my nickname is Hobo Haley, I'm going to think
I got-
that I did not.
I got
I didn't come up with that, so don't take that
That's
out.
my money's on Elena. My money's on Elena.
I'm taking Nick Hay.
All right, Jamie, could I get a drum roll, please? And the rating goes to Nick Hay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Raidees ghost.
Man,
I know that guy.
two
Is that something
surprises.
you want?
Two surprises.
Man,
Says Andrew
I'm
Marks. I don't
salty.
think Andrew Marks is pleased with the results, but hey, I didn't choose them. The
Yes,
Academy
you did.
I didn't choose them. I'm just representing the Academy for the first annual Raidees
You
Awards.
are.
Thank you,
Doc
ladies
Rock and
gentlemen,
Austin
for having-
Adams have just,
It's snubbed.
you got
Hey,
the
It's been
just
snubbed.
take it up with the Academy. I have nothing to do with the choosing. I'm
But
just
Nick,
here.
Nick does wear a suit more often than we all do. So.
Yeah, so you got to give him credit for
Sounds
that.
like
Everybody
the
thinks
whole
he's a
real jeans
professor
in like
in here.
3 weeks.
He kind of does look like one, in all honesty. All right, category number 3. This one's an actual toss-up because we're all pretty crazy around here. We all have pretty colorful personalities, to put it lightly.
Purple.
But, well, sure, whatever color, suits you best, Koke. But the next category
The color
is
purple.
for most talkative. And the nominees are Andy Koke,
What?
Derek Ginter, Brandon Medina, Haley Uptergrove, Andrew Marks, Brian Jimenez, that's me. Austin Adams, Savannah Gilbreth, and, last but not least, Jamie Drury.
Is it just everybody?
Jamie, can I get a drum roll, please? And the rating goes to Derek Ginter. Most talkative, the boss man, who can go on for days about any particular subject. I mean it as a compliment, did you? Quick speech for the people? But don't go too long.
I think this is very bougie. Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
I will take that.
Thank you.
Anti-establishment, man.
Anti-establishment, man. Okay, now this one is for Best Shade Thrower. Now,
Okay,
for
real
those
quick.
of you...
This should be called the Tree Award
This is
No,
not going to be called the
definitely
Tree
not.
Award.
because it throws shade.
We're already at the
Trees don't
Raidees.
throw
Haley, you
shade, it
can't
doesn't
change up
have
the name of the
shade.
category. But
Trees
for those of you
cause
who may not
shade.
understand what we're talking about, Best Shade Thrower, a lot of us are well versed in the art of throwing insults at one another, all in good fun, of course, but
Is it?
no one is safe in these walls.
Not even a
Everyone
little
is
safe.
not even a little bit
Not even-
safe.
You're doing
If you
horrible,
walk
Brian.
into the studio, you
automatically
are,
darker.
Yeah, you're. It's going to get darker. We're going to throw some shade at you. Insults will be thrown your way,
Very
but we
gently
do
lit.
it out of love because that's the kind of
Mostly.
people we are here at KTXT.
Brian.
Now, the nominees for Best Shade Thrower are Brian Jimenez, Brandon Medina, Andrew Marks, Haylee Uptergrove,
Ooh.
and Joel Schgetty.
Haley's a
I
dark
got
horse.
snubbed.
Haley's a dark
I got
horse.
snubbed.
Andy Koke claims he got snubbed, but again, take it up with the Academy.
Go
I'm
talk
just
to
the host
Leo.
here.
He knows how it feels.
Don't shoot the
Go
messenger.
talk to Leo.
Jimmy, can I get a drum roll, please? And the rating for Best Shade Thrower goes to Andrew Marks.
Hey.
Wow.
How do you feel, Mr. Andrew Marks?
I mean, I guess it's
You
true.
could put it nicely.
I'm just worrying about you guys getting too much sun. You know, I'm protecting your skin.
Ooh.
That's why I'm always throwing that shade.
Oh, okay.
Skin cancer is
I mean,
a real
the-
thing, guys.
That skin cancer is a real thing. That's why they invented sunscreen. But very lovely words there from Mr. Andrew Marks.
If they zoomed in on my face, there's a lot of salt. There's a lot of sodium over here. A little salty.
Yeah, if there's a way we could zoom into these cameras, there's salt just
Yeah.
dripping from Brandon. He probably feels he got snubbed.
Snub.
But again, hey, just a messenger.
Take it
I
up with the
didn't-
Academy. You're right.
Take it
You're
up with the Academy. I had nothing to do with it. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Most Over-the-Top Show Host. Now, not to get this confused, this is not for Best Show Host or Most Qualified. This is just
Most qualified.
for the one who goes over the top, that
any
has
of the-
that wild, wacky personality that always takes it up a notch during their shows, and no matter who's watching, who's listening, they always have a little bit of fun on their show. So, without further ado, here are the nominees for Most Over-the-Top Show Host. Brian Jimenez, Andy Koke, Brandon Medina,
That's my boy.
Andrew Marks, Haylee Uptergrove, and Joel Schgetty. This one is interesting. All different kinds of people indeed, all crazy characters, but there can only be one. Jamie, drum roll please. And the rating goes to Brandon Medina.
Wow.
Most over the top.
Not
Show
most
If I was
qualified.
if I was a betting man, I would have said Cowboy J.
I was a betting man.
Cowboy J, a.k.a. Joel Schgetty, but Brandon Medina is taking home the rating. How do you feel, Mr. Medina?
I just want to thank my parents. You did a great job. I want to thank my friends.
Okay.
Honestly, you guys didn't help me much. And then I want to thank God. And then I just want to thank myself because obviously I couldn't do this without me. So appreciate it, everybody.
Wow.
Was that
as
Brandon
humble
or
as they
Kanye?
come. Ooh.
Hey, I love Brandon like Brandon loves Brandon.
Well, there's your answer there,
No.
ladies and
Yeah.
You
gentlemen.
should just been
I
like,
love me some me.
I want to thank my mom and dad.
Yeah, you didn't even think Mama Medina.
I literally
Love
said
you,
it.
Mama
I
Medina.
literally said I want to thank my parents. The first thing I
That
said.
is the first set of words that came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
We do have time for a couple of more.
Oh,
This one's
great.
an actual, honorary award since there was only one nominee for it. But the next rating is for Hottest in the Office, as coined by pretty much everyone except for me, because again, just the host. Take it up with the Academy. But this honorary rating goes to Jamie. Can I get a drum roll, please? Hottest in the Office is not Andrew Marks, but it is in fact Derek Ginter.
I thought it was me. I was about to stand up to do my speech.
The man with the most sex appeal by far in the Raider 88.1.
As he's wearing backwards headphones.
He's trying to be humble. He's trying to laugh it off, but DG swoons the ladies.
DG, sorry, DG.
Everyone knows DG. Would
It's
you
just
like
a
to
fact.
give a couple awards?
Wards?
Words.
Couple of words?
Awards.
Do you need
For
words?
your awards?
Give Brian a couple of words.
DG speech. Let's do it.
Super green.
You know, I don't know what he means by that,
It's gonna
but
go down in history.
I still find it pretty profound nonetheless. We do have one more category, and it is up for grabs for two nominees. The next category is for Best Dad. Best Dad here
Ooh.
at KTXT, the Raider 88.1 FM. The nominees are, once again, the man, the myth, the legend, Derek Ginter, and, of course, our favorite Canadian father, Nick Hay.
Hey.
Jamie, drum roll, please.
Oh, come on. Go, Nick. Come on.
Toss up, ladies and gentlemen, but the rating goes to Nick Hay.
Oh, yeah.
Nick
He's
Hay.
listening live,
He
man.
is not here to accept his award, but I'm sure he'd be
Accepting
very
the award
grateful.
for Nick Hay is DG.
I don't think that.
I'll take it.
I don't think you could do that, DJ.
He's not here. I am.
Now
You know why? You know why he won is because he's at home taking care of his kid, being a dad.
That's right.
There
That's
you go.
right.
Dad of
facts.
My kid can take care of himself
Oh,
Nick Hay also.
You know,
because of proper parenting.
I'd hate to throw shade there, Mr.
That's
DG,
my job.
but that is Andrew's job, and that is why Nick Hay takes home the Rady.
You know, Nick Hay's kid is still throwing up and messing his diapers. My
Nick-
son,
Yeah,
at
but,
least
yeah,
is
but have you
trained.
seen that
Why are
baby on
you
Instagram?
attacking
It's like
the
the cutest kid
children?
I've ever seen.
Cam is a child.
Nick just commented and said, best Canadian dad, eh?
Hey!
Hey. Oh my goodness gracious. So, of course, we don't have any actual tangible trophies or awards to
So
give
these
out
mean
to
nothing.
everyone.
These mean
So
nothing.
it
I
doesn't-
love not
it
winning
doesn't
anything.
mean nothing. It just means, you could give yourself a pat on the back
Like
if you've
high
taken
school.
home. Sure.
It's like a participation
high
ribbon.
school. all
No,
over
no,
again.
because not everyone got one. So you can
Yeah.
give yourself a pat on the back, bragging rights for your respective categories. But who knows? Maybe if we get a little more money in the budget next year around, we could get
A little more money in
trophies.
the budget.
A little more money in the
Maybe
budget
we
because
can
we're
afford some
college
ribbons.
students. We can't afford golden statues.
You
or
couldn't even
anything
just
like
write
that.
on a piece of paper, Brian? You couldn't just do something?
You would rather me give you a piece of paper as an award?
Are you kidding?
That's
Brian
even more.
I'm
It's
pretty
just
sure
like
they have the
all
fake
one.
Oscar trophies at Party City
For like $1.
For like $1. We'll do that next year at
Oh
the
my
second annual
goodness.
Raidees.
Yeah.
At the second annual race. So hopefully you all enjoyed. Let me go over the winners one more time just in case you came into the show late. So Best Taste in Music, Andy Koke took home that award. Well, he didn't take it home. He's still here on the show. But Best Fashion Sense went to Nick Hay.
I wish I could go home.
Most Talkative went to Derek Ginter for his first award of the evening,
cleaned up.
aka morning. Best Shade Thrower went to Andrew Marks, taking home that Rady. Most over-the-top show host, of course, Brandon Medina.
Viva.
Sure. And Hottest in the Office, undeniably Derek Ginter for that Rady. And Best Dad, Nick Hay came in for the kill
So
and
you
took home that
You
Rady.
won nothing?
I apparently won nothing.
Wow, what an amateur.
I'm the show host, so technically, I'm not really supposed to take home any awards.
But you were nominated. Come on.
I was nominated. I didn't take it home, but I'm glad to be nominated.
I
It's an
think,
accomplishment in and
yeah,
of
you were
itself.
nominated. I think it's just like
You're a winner in my book,
you
Brian.
You just weren't to that that level. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
you're probably right.
That's
Maybe
all.
I'll work on my craft,
Next
come back
year.
next
Next
year. Oh wait, I graduate, so this is the only opportunity. So
Yeah, next year.
that sucks, I guess. But it was a fun awards nonetheless. Hopefully
Winner in my
everyone is
book.
pleased with the results, and if not, well, that's just too bad. But let's go into another quick music break. Next up, we got the XX on hold. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back for some more GMTT. Hello, Facebook. Thank you for sticking with us. Let us know, if you're watching, what you thought about the first annual Raidees.
I think we should have came in suits.
We should. I guess we didn't have enough time to coordinate.
Should have
that,
been a
but-
black tie
Agreed.
event.
I think y'all should have come in
Yeah,
suits.
next time, you guys can bring out the red carpet. Could bring us some bow ties, some, nice gowns and
6
everything.
in the morning.
It should be like a super cheesy trashy college
I
window.
won't be-
Not even a red carpet. Just
I'm
like a stadium
graduating in
carpet.
May, so that is purely up to you guys. You guys do whatever you want. I will not be a part of it.
It also has to be said that Nick Hay also brought home the Best New Parent Award as well.
Yeah, Nick Hay won. Nick Hay and DG won the Raidees, man. Nick Hay,
Yeah, they
won it. They
Each
did a
got
great job.
2 apiece. So.
DG with his sex appeal just couldn't be stopped. He was on
He
on a run.
rampage.
a rampage. And then Nick Hay, you know what I mean, representing for the Maple Leafs, doing it big out here.
Absolutely. Well, still got a little bit of time to come back, so I think we actually have a little bit of time to actually talk about the Oscars for a few minutes. So we'll just kind of go over that quickly when we come back, and then we will kind of wrap it up from there.
Who's hosting this year?
Jimmy Kimmel is hosting this year.
Uh-oh, that'd be pretty good. I like Jimmy Kimmel.
So basically,
everyone loves Jimmy Kimmel.
Basically, it's how many awards can La La Land get?
La La Land.
La La.
Los Angeles.
I hope Fences wins something. That was a great movie.
I haven't seen it, but I heard good things. I mean, everyone loves
awesome.
Denzel.
Denzel's
the man, bro.
Denzel is indeed the man.
Man.
La La Land was easily my favorite movie of the year. I loved it. It's absolutely great.
It's up for 2 original song awards, 2 of them. Like
2 original songs?
in the same category. Like that's ridiculous. And in the best score.
I really enjoyed Hacksaw Ridge too. That might have been one of my favorite movies.
Hacksaw Ridge was so good.
Andrew Garfield representing the Andrews.
Dude, he's
He's
so good.
I heard in La La Land that Gosling actually was playing that piano. Like,
yeah, he had to go through like a lot of training to be able to do
it's
those
impressive.
scenes.
I heard that the piano was haunted.
I mean, it could have been. I don't know.
There's also Ryan Gosling. I'm sure he doesn't have to try that hard.
But he was a trash defensive back in Remember the Titans.
He almost cost the Titans several games.
He almost made me forget the Titans, you know?
He had to be replaced by Petey.
Denzel should have gotten an award for that too, but, you know, that's just me.
He's definitely got a point there. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here on Facebook. We're talking Oscars for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. So thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
That was On Hold by the XX here on the Raider. Good morning, Texas Tech. Local underwriting support for KTXT-FM is provided in part by Daylight Donuts, located at 2859 34th. That's 34th and Elgin. Their phone number is 792-4741. Now back to Goodfella Fridays here on the Raider, 88.1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Good Morning Texas Tech. So if you've been following us for the entirety of the program, you may understand that we just wrapped up the first annual Raidees. Very fun stuff and very interesting takeaways from that. But I think the end result was very good stuff. But we got a few minutes to kill, so let's go ahead and talk about the Oscars since we do have a few minutes to kill. So, you know, what are y'all's favorite films from this past year? If you can name a couple.
I think just off the top of my head, I can't remember. I watch a lot of movies. I just forget.
I got you, boy.
But I loved Fences. I loved Hacksaw Ridge. And I guess
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures was good too.
Yeah, that was it was a little bit longer than I was expecting, but you know, I had a great time.
It takes forever to put a man on the moon, Andy.
It does take a while. Can confirm. Sorry, can confirm.
Hacksaw Ridge being represented by Andrew Garfield, so, you know, representing the Andrews, me, Andrew Koke, and then Andrew Marks, you know, really proud.
Let's go ahead and talk about some of the nominees. So, for Best Picture, we have La La Land, Arrival,
La La Land,
Lion, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, Moonlight, Academy Award for Best Picture, Moonlight, just making sure I'm not reading the wrong thing. Hacksaw Ridge, Manchester by the Sea, and Fences. So I haven't seen all of these. The ones I have seen, though, La La Land, Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, and I think that's it for the Best Picture ones. But my favorite among those, easily La La Land, but Hacksaw Ridge and Arrival were also amazing movies as well. Turns out Mel Gibson for Hacksaw Ridge can direct a heck of a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he can.
So I don't know if you have seen Hacksaw Ridge, but incredible movie. Very important message behind it. Very good man that it talks about for that movie. La La Land was just an amazing movie. The music was amazing for it. The ending was just super feelsy. I've seen it multiple times and I feel inspired.
I haven't seen
time.
it. I really want to.
It's a great movie, fantastic movie. Beautiful cinematography, coloring, set pieces, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Arrival really caught my attention as well. I don't know if you guys seen Arrival.
Is Amy Adams in that one?
Yes, it's the one with Amy Adams about her as a linguist hired to kind of translate aliens that have landed on the Earth, and they're speaking in a certain language, and she's hired to kind of decipher and figure out why they're there in the first place. So I think it's an amazing movie. It shows what science fiction is capable of doing, because over the past several years, sci-fi movies have been just kind of action, a lot of stuff blowing up, which is cool and all, but not something to this degree. It was an intelligent movie. It wasn't preachy in any way. It was just a good, well-written, well-acted movie. Great cinematography as well, and just a very intelligent script. I loved it. One of my favorites, easily.
To me, I absolutely love Fences. Fences was so good. It was a longer movie, but I'm a huge Denzel fan, and I think, to me, I love Training Day. Training Day is one of my favorite movies of all time, and he put on one of the best performances I've ever seen. He just was a really good actor, made you in the feels, made you kind of like, he played a father figure, so it kind of made you not only like, oh my god, like I hate this guy, but also like I love this guy. Like, he just played a really good guy, really good actor as well, and then the movie was really good, and it seemed very low budget to me. And they did a lot with it. Like, it was always on like one set, and so it was super, super cool and very interesting to check out.
All right, well, that's just a little bit of Oscar talk. But before we wrap it up, I just wanted to say a couple words. This past week, some of you may not have known him, but I wanted to kind of pay tribute to a friend of mine. His name was Alex Jones. He's somebody that I went to high school with. And some of you, if you know who I am, been following either Good Morning Texas Tech or have listened or watched Polar Opposites, you may know I used to be in band back in high school. I was in the marching band, I was in concert band, all that good stuff. And, for those of you, who aren't familiar with that kind of world, it's a very tight-knit family. It's the several hundred kids that come together for a common cause. And, it's kind of a beautiful thing how big family gets, in such a short amount of time. But unfortunately, this past Sunday, I'm sad to say that Alex Jones passed away in a car accident. And he, I was never super close with him. I was never, we didn't talk a whole lot, but nevertheless, I still had a great amount of respect. He was a very genuine person. He was extremely hardworking. Always had something positive to say, always a smile on his face whenever he was in the band program, and everyone just had an immense amount of respect for him. Just the way he carried himself, he was wise beyond his years. He had a great impact on so many people, both in the Reagan band program, and also he went on to Texas A&M for the core band program, and he was a leadership position there as well, and he was well respected and admired by his peers as well, and he was just the best kind of genuine human being. I wish I had gotten to know him better. But one thing I do want to take away is his work ethic and his ability to lead, all with a positive attitude. I think that's something we can all learn from. And it just really puts into perspective how fragile life is and how, you never know when your time comes or those close to you. So I just wanted to take a minute to say, to everyone here, I love you all very much, my KTXT family. You guys are very special to me. You guys are truly like my family away from home, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I'd hate to end on such a sad note, but I feel like it's something that needed to be said. So rest in peace, Alex Jones. You will be missed, and please send love and prayers to his family if you know Alex Jones. But that's about our time for us on GMTT. Catch us next Friday, and don't forget to shout out Women Crush Wednesday as well. Keep it locked to the left. See you guys next time.
It's Undercurrents. Greetings, everyone. How you doing? Well,